The whispered stories too shocking to believe. This is the tale of an empress, a brothel, and a night that shattered the Roman world. This is the grim past. Subscribe if you dare to face the truth. Rome, 48 AD, under the cloak of night, while Emperor Claudius sleeps, a figure slips from the imperial palace. Her dark hair is hidden under a cheap blonde wig. The scent of expensive perfume is replaced by the smell of the streets. She wears the rough, simple garments of a common prostitute. No jewels, no mark of nobility. She moves with purpose through the shadowed alleys, descending into the Suburra, the foul heart of Rome. Here, in a maze of crumbling buildings, among thieves and the desperate, the cheapest brothels operate. She pushes open a worn door. The madam inside nods. The disguise is for outsiders only. Here, they know her true name, yet they call her by another, Lysica, the she-wolf. For this woman, sneaking through filth to sell her body, is Valeria Messalina, Empress of Rome, the most powerful woman in the world. And before dawn breaks, she will attempt a feat so audacious, so brazen, it would etch her name into infamy for 2,000 years. But to understand that night, you must understand the woman. Born around 20 AD into Rome's premier family, her bloodline ran straight to Augustus, the first emperor. She possessed staggering beauty, pale skin, golden hair, aristocratic grace, and was married to Claudius, a man decades older, considered a stuttering, drooling fool by the elite. Their match was one of political convenience, nothing more. Then, fate intervened. In 41 AD, the mad Emperor Caligula was assassinated. The Praetorian Guard, scrambling for a legitimate successor, found Claudius hiding behind a palace curtain. They dragged him out and proclaimed him emperor. Overnight, Messalina's mocked husband became the most powerful man on earth. She, barely 21, became empress. She had it all: unlimited wealth, palaces, slaves, and a son, Britannicus, the imperial heir. For most, this was the pinnacle. For Messalina, it was a cage. What drove an empress to such extremes? Keep reading to uncover the truth. Ancient historians, Tacitus, Suetonius, Juvenal paint a portrait of a woman of insatiable and terrifying appetites. Her sexuality was not private scandal, it was a weapon of state. She targeted senators, generals, even low-born actors. Refusal was not an option. Denial could mean exile, fabricated charges, or death. But the stories grew darker, stranger. The poet Juvenal claimed that once Claudius slept, Messalina would sneak out to that brothel in the Suburra, her nipples painted gold, calling out to customers as the she-wolf until dawn. Then comes the account from Pliny the Elder, a respected scholar writing not satire but natural history. He records a competition. Messalina, he states, to settle a question of endurance, challenged Rome's most famed prostitute, Scylla. The wager, who could service more men in a single night and day? A public spectacle, witnessed by members of the nobility. Scylla, the professional, lasted through the night until, exhausted, she reached her limit at 25 men. She did not stop at 25, she surpassed it, only ending when there were no men left to continue. Messalina claimed her victory. The Empress of Rome had outdone a professional prostitute in her own arena, and did so before an audience. Why? Was it nymphomania? A quest for ultimate power in a world that gave women none? Or was it the ultimate expression of control to degrade the very institution of the Empress, simply because she could? The truth is elusive. These tales were written by men, years after her death, in a society where destroying a woman's reputation began with accusations of sexual deviance. Yet the consistency of the stories is haunting. They formed a legend that would outlive the empire itself. Was Messalina a monster of lust, or a political mastermind slandered by history? The line between truth and libel is thinner than you think. Her end came from love, not lust. In 48 AD, Messalina grew obsessed with Gaius Silius, a handsome and ambitious consul. Silius saw a path to the throne. Their plotting turned to recklessness. While Claudius was away, they committed an act of breathtaking treason. They publicly married. When Claudius learned of the wedding, his advisors and the Praetorian Guard acted. This was a direct threat to the state. The order for her death was issued. Messalina fled to the gardens of Lucullus, a place of beauty she had acquired through manipulation. Her mother, Domitia Lepida, met her there, begging her to fall on her own dagger, to die with the dignity Rome allowed its condemned. Placed the blade at her throat, but her courage failed. She could not push. The Praetorian tribunes found her there, clinging to her mother in the beautiful garden. There was no trial, no final plea to Claudius. The sword fell. Valeria Messalina, Empress of Rome, died at approximately 28 years old, her blood on the marble paths. Her legacy was sealed. Her son, Britannicus, would be poisoned. Her daughter Octavia, executed. It would echo through centuries as a synonym for predatory female sexuality. A cautionary tale painted by artists, dramatized by playwrights, and weaponized by moralists. But modern historians peer through the lurid gossip. They see a young woman in an impossible position, wielding the only influence available to her in a vicious, male-dominated world. The stories of the brothel and the competition might be grotesque exaggerations, political propaganda designed to justify her murder and erase her political influence. The real scandal may not be what Messalina did in the dark of the Subura. It may be how history, written by the victors, transformed a complex figure into a one-dimensional monster. Her story forces us to question what we think we know about power, survival, and the stains left on history's pages. We may never know the true Messalina, but her legend forces us to confront a timeless question. Is history a record of facts, or a weapon used by the powerful to bury their victims twice, first in body, then in reputation? If this journey into history's shadows left you questioning the past, you need to subscribe to The Grim Past. We uncover the suppressed, the scandalous, and the true stories they never wanted you to know. Don't miss what we reveal next.